Jeff just told me that while I was on the phone there that Eddie knocked on my door and said that he probably won't play. Even if he's available, I don't know if he'll play. You know, I think we'll figure that out as we move forward.
What do you expect from him conditioning-wise when he does return?
He'll be struggling a little bit, but not too bad. I mean, these guys do a pretty good job of keeping guys up to speed and making sure they get in good work in the off days. You know, I think the biggest thing for him is just, you know, getting back and getting, you know, back to playing at a good level. First and foremost from an effort and defensive standpoint. You know, I think that, you know, whatever rust there is from not playing gets knocked off pretty quickly, maybe even in one stint, you know, playing. So I'm not too concerned about that.
Are you worried about him affecting the chemistry of that second unit when he does return?
No, we'll figure that out. I mean, it's not, I mean, we've only been together a week. I know that we've had 2 good stints with that second unit, but I don't know that I'm ready to call it, like, you know, the greatest thing since sliced bread just yet.
Prepping for these guys, prepping your team, is it much different than when you faced them a month and a half ago or so?
From our standpoint?
Exactly. It's just the,
yeah, I mean, I watch all these games, you know, the last time we played a team or the first time we played a team, is our team's completely different. All you're watching is system, really. You know, I'll watch you know, when we get ready for Cleveland next time, you know, we'll probably have 5 guys on the court that may not be available, right, for us anymore on our team from our last Cleveland game. So, you know, I think at the end of the day, it's you know, you're just looking for little things and then you're getting ready to play. You know, probably, arguably, the 2 teams that everybody thinks are going to potentially win in the West and the East in the next 2 games. And these guys are playing great. They're on a long road trip, and, you know, the last game they played against Toronto was unbelievable.
Will that serve as kind of a measuring stick, these 2 games, a better idea of maybe where you guys stand in a...
It serves as a measuring stick for the rest of us, for all, not just us. I mean, these guys are they're the cream of the crop in the league right now.
What stands out the most about Golden State? I know they do so many things well, but is there any 1 or 2 things that really stand out for you about that?
You know, I think obviously they're a really good team on both sides of the ball. I know people get caught up in the crazy shot making and the ooh and the ah plays, but they're very sound defensively, and they have been for a couple of years now. And then they're very sound offensively, and I really think the space and the pace that they play just makes them even scarier. And you know, anytime, and we've kind of seen this in the last 2 games here. Anytime you go on 9-0 runs and you do it frequently, or 6-0 runs, I mean, they can stop momentum from going against them, and they can create an unbelievable that you can't catch up to. So, you know, my biggest thing is don't get too caught up in you know, the ooh and the ah moments. You know, I think it's more about just make everything as difficult as possible, challenge everything you can, and then play every possession. I know this: if you take time to soak in what's going on around you, they're by you, and you better not do that.
In the month of February, you guys were really good at defending the 3-point shot. When you look at video, what are some of the keys to your group collectively really standing out in that particular area?
Yeah, you know, I think we've been good all year as far as limiting the number of attempts. We have not been good about, you know, them making. I mean, they're shooting a pretty good percentage against us. You know, I think it's just part of our system. We've just got to pick and choose well. We're rotating a little bit smarter, but that's to be expected as you move on in the season. And you know, I think we're doing our best to be there on the catch, but it's easier said than done. You know, because like tonight, they'll have Bogut rolling to the rim, they'll have Curry driving the lane, and they'll have 3 shooters around them. And so that becomes very difficult to guard. So you're going to have to pick your poison quite a bit.
What did you guys do well?
Golden State?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, it helps. It helps having Darren on our staff, period, but not necessarily for one opponent or for, you know, Golden State. Obviously, he knows these guys, but you know, we can know these guys all we want. They're still going to cut hard off of the screen. They're still going to take what the defense gives you and take advantage of it. and they still just crush you in transition on a lapse on the offensive end. You know, and so I think that the biggest thing is not necessarily, you know, what his value is for this game. He's just a really good coach. He's a really good defensive coach, and I think both teams would have players that would attest to that.
What did you do well against them, the Warriors, the first time around?
Just hung around, you know, and you know, I knew it was a 3-point game at the end. I had kind of forgotten that we really weren't in it for the better part of the fourth quarter. We just kind of, you know, fought our way back, but up to that point, we played, you know, we played pretty well on the offensive end. You have to score. You have to score to beat them. And then defensively, I thought, you know, we had a bad end of the first half, and that hurt us. It took a 2-point game to 7, and then we struggled, you know, for a brief stint in that first 18 minutes, and it was enough to really set you back. Like I said earlier, I think you just can't get caught up in all the great plays. What you got to take away are the easy layups and the transition opportunities. It's easier said than done.
Last year going into the playoffs, you said that you wanted to focus on game-to-game adjustments that coaches made around the NBA. What did you take from that and focus on?
Yeah, I don't really remember that. So I don't know that I took a whole lot. I just watched the playoffs, like, you know, and you mean game-to-game adjustments in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I did pay attention to that. Probably more so than I had in the past. You know, and we've made game-to-game adjustments the whole time I've been here. Obviously, that's what you're paid to do as a coach. But I think that the best part about this group, at least the guys that have been back, I still can't tell with our new guys, but the guys that have been back, they're able to make them on the fly better now. Like, we're able to say, okay, this is something that we did last year in this game. We're going to do that today. We haven't done it since then. You know, those type of things. And that's what Pop always referred to as corporate knowledge, like being able to reach back and say, okay, we've done this, you know, against Cleveland 4 months ago. We think it applies to this game. Let's try to do that. And you guys can remember that, and they have an idea about how to do it. That makes adjusting on the fly easier.
Brad, what did you learn about the new guys through their first practice yesterday?
Yeah, nothing. You know, we've already played 4 games with them. So, you know, the one thing, Bill, that I'm pleased about, I didn't think I would be anything else, is that we need guys that add to our practices and add to the practice environment. We didn't go hard as far as competing, but we went with a lot of mental work. We went with a lot of, you know, 5-on-0 stuff, and they were very locked in. And that's important because, you know, we have a good practice habit group right now, and so we can't take away from that. And our 3 new guys seem to add to that.